The scene opens not with a grand declaration, but with an almost suffocating sense of opulence. Alexander Alex Carter stands at the center of his world, a sprawling yacht anchored off the coast of Monaco. The air is thick with the scent of expensive champagne and the hum of superficial laughter. Men in tailored suits and women draped in designer gowns move around him like planets orbiting a sun, their admiration palpable yet hollow. Alex, dressed impeccably in a navy blue suit that fits him like it was sewn by angels, holds a glass of Dom Perignon loosely in his hand. His smile is practiced, charming, but there's something behind his eyes, something unspoken, something restless. If you're watching this and wondering what makes a man like Alex tick, stick around. This story isn't just about wealth or power. It's about how even someone who seems to have everything can feel like they have nothing. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel, because we're diving deep into stories that explore the human condition in ways you won't forget. Now, let's get back to Alex. To truly understand him, you need to peel back the layers of his life. On paper, he's every bit the success story. Born into one of the wealthiest families in New York, he inherited not only money, but also expectations that shaped him into the man standing on that yacht today. From a young age, Alex learned that vulnerability was weakness. His father, a ruthless businessman, taught him that emotions were liabilities. Feelings don't pay the bills, his father would say, often after long nights spent arguing with Alex's mother. Those arguments became a soundtrack to Alex's childhood, culminating in a bitter divorce when he was just 12 years old. That divorce left scars deeper than any physical wound. Watching his parents tear each other apart made Alex swear he'd never let himself depend on anyone, not romantically, not emotionally. He built walls around his heart brick by brick until no one could get close enough to hurt him. But here's the irony. Those same walls kept happiness out too. Fast forward to the present day, and Alex has become a master of distraction. He fills his life with fleeting pleasures, luxury cars, exotic vacations, and women who are more interested in his bank account than his soul. Yet none of it satisfies him. Each conquest feels emptier than the last, leaving him craving something he can't quite name. It's as though he's running on a treadmill, moving faster and faster, but going nowhere. But beneath the surface, there's another side to Alex, a side few people see. In rare moments of solitude, usually late at night when the noise of the world fades away, he allows himself to think about what might be missing. He wonders if there's more to life than boardroom victories and tabloid headlines. These thoughts are fleeting, though, quickly buried under layers of denial and self-preservation. After all, admitting he wants something more would mean admitting he's incomplete, and Alex doesn't do incomplete. Meanwhile, across town, far removed from the glittering world of yachts and champagne, lives Emma Thompson. If Alex represents excess, Emma embodies simplicity. She's a teacher at a struggling public school, dedicating her days to nurturing creativity in children who often lack resources but overflow with potential. Her apartment is modest, her wardrobe practical, and her dreams big but grounded. Unlike Alex, Emma finds joy in small things: the smell of fresh paint, the sound of a child laughing during art class, the quiet satisfaction of knowing she's making a difference. Emma's life hasn't been easy. She lost her father, a man she adored, just 6 months ago to cancer. His death hit her hard, leaving a void she's still learning to navigate. Despite her grief, she soldiers on, driven by a desire to honor his memory through her work. Her father always believed in the transformative power of art, and Emma carries that belief with her wherever she goes. One fateful evening, Emma receives an envelope in the mail. Inside is a golden ticket, an invitation to a charity gala hosted by none other than Alex Carter. She won it in a raffle held by her school's fundraising committee. At first, she considers declining. The event screams exclusivity, and she feels out of place just thinking about it. But curiosity gets the better. Maybe she thinks, this is her chance to step outside her comfort zone, to see a different side of life, even if only for one night. And so fate begins to weave its threads, drawing these two vastly different souls closer together. Neither Alex nor Emma knows it yet, but their worlds are about to collide in ways neither could predict. The night of the gala arrives, and Emma stands in front of her mirror, adjusting the simple black dress she borrowed from a friend. It's nothing like the designer gown she imagines the other guests will be wearing, but it fits well enough, and she feels presentable. As she pins her hair back, she catches her reflection and sighs. There is a flicker of doubt in her eyes. What is she doing here? This isn't her world. She doesn't belong among billionaires and celebrities. But then she thinks of her students, their eager faces, their untapped potential, and reminds herself why she's going. If this event can help raise funds for their art program, every awkward moment will be worth it. Meanwhile, Alex is already aboard his yacht, playing host to the city's elite. He moves through the crowd with practiced ease, shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries, and occasionally flashing that trademark smile that makes people feel seen, even if only for a moment. But tonight, something feels off. Despite the glittering chandeliers, the live orchestra, and the endless flow of Dom Perignon, Alex feels restless. He scans the room, searching for something or someone that might break the monotony, and then he sees her. Emma steps onto the deck hesitantly, her presence immediately setting her apart from the rest of the crowd, while everyone else exudes confidence and extravagance. She seems almost fragile, as though she's afraid she'll shatter if she moves too quickly. Yet there's a quiet strength about her, a grace that draws Alex's attention like a magnet. He watches as she glances around, clearly uncomfortable, her fingers nervously twisting the strap of her clutch. For reasons he can't explain, he finds himself unable to look away. Who is she? Alex mutters under his breath, tilting his champagne glass slightly, as if to get a better view. At that exact moment, Emma turns her head, and their eyes meet across the crowded deck. Time seems to slow down. Alex feels an unfamiliar jolt, a mix of curiosity and something deeper, something he hasn't felt in years. Emma, on the other hand, feels a pang of unease. There's something intense about the way he's looking at her, as though he's trying to see straight through her soul. She quickly looks away, focusing instead on the breathtaking view of the Mediterranean Sea, stretching out beyond the yacht. If you're enjoying this unfolding dynamic between Alex and Emma, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Eventually, Alex decides to approach her. He navigates through the throng of guests, his movements deliberate yet unhurried. When he finally reaches her, he clears his throat softly to announce his presence. "You seem out of place," he says, his tone light but probing. Emma turns to face him, startled. "Is that your way of saying I don't belong here?" she replies, her voice tinged with both defensiveness and amusement. Alex chuckles, raising his hands in mock surrender. "Not at all, just making an observation." "Well, you're not wrong," Emma admits after a pause. "I'm definitely not used to places like this. And yet, here you are," Alex says, his gaze steady. "Why is that?" Emma hesitates, unsure how much to reveal. "Let's just say I have my reasons," she says cryptically, turning her attention back to the sea. For a moment, neither of them speaks. The silence isn't uncomfortable, though. It's charged, as if they're both sizing each other up. Finally, Alex breaks it. "I'm Alex, by the way." "Emma," she replies without looking at him. "So, Emma," he continues, leaning casually against the railing beside her, "what do you do when you're not crashing high society events?" Emma smirks despite herself. "I teach art at a public school." Alex raises an eyebrow, genuinely intrigued. "Art, huh? That must be rewarding." "It is," Emma says, finally meeting his gaze, "but it's also challenging. Funding for the arts is practically non-existent these days. We have to fight for every paintbrush and canvas." Alex nods thoughtfully, though he doesn't fully grasp the weight of her words. To him, scarcity is an abstract concept. He's never had to worry about where his next paycheck is coming from, let alone whether he'll have enough supplies to teach a class. Still, there's something about the way Emma talks, her passion, her conviction, that resonates with him on a visceral level. "What about you?" Emma asks, tilting her head slightly. "What do you do when you're not throwing lavish parties?" Alex grins, expecting the question. "I run a few companies, investments, real estate, that sort of thing." "Of course you do," Emma murmurs, half under her breath. "What's that supposed to mean?" Alex asks, his tone playful, but laced with curiosity. Emma shrugs. "Nothing. It's just predictable, I guess." Her bluntness takes him aback, but not in a bad way. In fact, he finds it refreshing. Most people tiptoe around him, afraid to offend or overstep. Emma doesn't seem to care about any of that. "Predictable, huh?" Alex repeats, raising an eyebrow. "You don't know me well enough to make that judgment." "Maybe not," Emma concedes, "but I've met enough people like you to recognize the type." "And what type is that?" "The kind who has everything but still feels like something's missing." Her words hit him like a punch to the gut. For a split second, Alex is speechless. No one has ever spoken to him like that before, at least not without sugarcoating it. Emma's honesty is disarming, cutting through the layers of pretense he's spent years building. Before he can respond, a server approaches with a tray of hors d'oeuvres, breaking the tension. Emma grabs one absently, using the interruption, has an excuse to step away. "It was nice meeting you, Alex," she says politely, though her tone suggests otherwise. "Wait," Alex calls after her, taking a step forward. "Are you leaving already?" "I should," Emma replies, glancing at her watch. "I have an early morning tomorrow." Alex wants to protest, to convince her to stay, but he knows it would come off as desperate. Instead, he forces a smile. "Well, maybe our paths will cross again sometime." Emma gives him a small, enigmatic smile. "Maybe." And with that, she disappears into the crowd, leaving Alex standing alone on the deck. He watches her go, his mind racing. Who is this woman? And why does she make him feel so unsettled? As the night wears on, Alex finds himself replaying their conversation in his head. Her words echo in his mind, gnawing at him. The kind who has everything but still feels like something's missing. Could she be right? Is that why he feels so empty, even surrounded by luxury and adoration? By the time the gala winds down, Alex knows one thing for certain. He needs to see Emma again. Not because she intrigues him, though she does, but because she challenges him, she makes him question things he's long taken for granted, and for the first time in years, he feels a spark of something real. The morning after the gala, Alex wakes up in his penthouse suite overlooking Manhattan. The city stretches out below him, a sprawling canvas of steel and glass bathed in golden sunlight. But despite the breathtaking view, his mind is elsewhere. He can't stop thinking about Emma, her piercing gaze, her unfiltered honesty, the way she seemed to see right through him. For someone who prides himself on control, this newfound preoccupation unnerves him. Alex isn't used to being unsettled, especially not by a woman he barely knows. Yet here he is, pacing the length of his living room, replaying their brief conversation over and over again. What was it about her that felt so different? Was it her authenticity? Her refusal to play the game everyone else seemed so eager to participate in? Or was it something deeper, something he couldn't quite put into words? Determined to find answers, Alex does what he does best. He uses his resources. Within hours, he has a team of assistants digging into Emma's background. They compile a dossier on her, where she lives, where she works, her family history, even her favorite coffee order. It's invasive, yes, but Alex convinces himself it's harmless curiosity. After all, he just wants to understand her better. Meanwhile, Emma is blissfully unaware of Alex's efforts to learn more about her. She spends the morning teaching her students, her focus entirely on helping them express themselves through art. One particular student, a shy boy named Marcus, catches her attention. He's been struggling lately, both academically and emotionally, and Emma senses there's more going on beneath the surface. "Marcus," she says gently during class, kneeling beside him as he sketches furiously in his notebook. "You've got talent. Don't be afraid to let it show." Marcus looks up at her, his eyes filled with uncertainty. "What if it's not good enough?" Emma smiles warmly. "Art isn't about being perfect. It's about telling your story. And yours matters." Her words seem to resonate with him, and for the first time all week, Marcus cracks a small smile. Moments like these remind Emma why she chose this path. to make a difference, no matter how small. Later that evening, as Emma sits at her kitchen table grading assignments, her phone buzzes with a notification. It's an email from the school principal, thanking her for attending the gala and informing her that the event raised significant funds for the art program. Relief washes over her. Maybe now they'll finally have the supplies they need. But before she can fully process the news, there's a knock at her door. Confused, she wasn't expecting anyone. She opens it to find Alex standing there holding a bouquet of wildflowers. "Hi," he says, offering her a sheepish smile. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Emma blinks, momentarily stunned. "Alex, what are you doing here?" "I wanted to see you," he admits, shifting uncomfortably. "I couldn't stop thinking about our conversation last night." Emma crosses, her arms, her expression guarded. "That's flattering, but also a little creepy. How did you even know where I live?" Alex winces, realizing too late how his actions might come across. "I may have asked around. Look, I didn't mean to invade your privacy. You just what?" Emma interrupts, her tone sharp. "Decided to barge into my life because you were curious?" "No," Alex says quickly, holding up his hands. "That's not what this is, I swear. I felt like there was something between us, something worth exploring." Emma studies him carefully, searching for any sign of insincerity. To her surprise, she finds none. There's a vulnerability in his eyes that she didn't notice before, a crack in the polished facade he usually presents to the world. "Why me?" she asks finally, her voice softer now. "Out of all the people at that party, why did you choose to chase me?" Alex hesitates, unsure how much to reveal. "Because you're different," he says simply. "You don't care about my money, or my status. You challenged me in ways no one else ever has. And honestly, I think I needed that." His honesty disarms her, but it doesn't erase her reservations. "Even if that's true, Alex, we live in completely different worlds. What could possibly come of this? I don't know," he admits. "But I'd like to find out." Emma sighs, torn between skepticism and curiosity. Part of her wants to believe him, to give him the benefit of the doubt. But another part wonders if he's just another wealthy man looking for a distraction. "Look," she says after a long pause, "I appreciate the gesture, but I'm not interested in being some kind of project for you. My life is complicated enough as it is." "I get that," Alex replies earnestly, "and I'm not asking you to trust me right away. All I'm asking is for a chance, to prove that I'm serious." Emma considers his words, weighing her options. Finally, she nods reluctantly. "Okay, one chance. But if I feel like you're using me or lying to me, I'm done." "Fair enough," Alex says, relief washing over him. Over the next few weeks, Alex makes a concerted effort to integrate himself into Emma's world. He starts by visiting her school, volunteering to help with fundraisers, and mentoring students. At first, Emma is skeptical, convinced he's only doing it to impress her. But as time goes on, she begins to see glimpses of a side to Alex she never expected. A compassionate, thoughtful man who genuinely cares about making a difference. One afternoon, while helping Marcus with a painting project, Alex surprises Emma by opening up about his own struggles. "I wasn't always this polished," he admits, gesturing vaguely at himself. "Growing up, I had a lot of pressure to succeed. My parents fought constantly, and when they divorced, I promised myself I'd never let anyone get close enough to hurt me." Emma listens, intently, touched by his vulnerability. "That must have been hard," she says softly. "It was," Alex agrees, "but meeting you made me realize how lonely I've been. You challenge me to be better, not because you expect anything from me, but because you believe I can be." His words stir something deep within her, but she remains cautious. Trust isn't something she gives easily, especially to someone like Alex. Still, she can't deny the connection growing between them, a fragile thread of possibility weaving its way through their differences. But just as things seem to be progressing, a new conflict arises. A rival businessman, jealous of Alex's success, leaks rumors to the press claiming that Alex's sudden interest in charity work is nothing more than a PR stunt. The media pounces on the story, painting Alex as a manipulative opportunist exploiting Emma for publicity. When Emma sees the headlines, she feels betrayed. Despite Alex's reassurances, she begins to question his intentions. Did he really care about her, or was she just another asset in his portfolio? If you're following along and wondering how this will all unfold, stick around. This story is far from over, and the twists keep coming. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated. It's free, and it means a lot to us. The rumors spread like wildfire, fueled by tabloids eager to capitalize on Alex's reputation as a Playboy billionaire. Headlines scream accusations. Alex Carter's charity charade. Is it all about image? And billionaire uses local. Teacher for PR stunt. The media circus is relentless, painting Emma as a pawn in Alex's grand scheme. For someone who has always valued authenticity, the betrayal cuts deep. Emma sits alone in her small apartment, staring at her laptop screen as article after article scrolls past. Her chest feels tight, her mind racing with doubts. Was she naive to believe Alex? Did she misread his intentions entirely? She replays their interactions in her head, searching for signs she might have missed, anything that could confirm or deny the allegations. When Alex calls her later that evening, she lets it ring out, unable to face him, but he doesn't give up. Instead, he shows up at her door unannounced, his expression a mixture of desperation and guilt. "Emma," he says, his voice strained, "we need to talk." "I don't think there's anything left to say," Emma replies coldly, refusing to meet his gaze. "Please," Alex pleads, stepping closer, "just hear me out." Reluctantly, Emma steps aside, allowing him into her apartment. The tension, between them is palpable as they sit across from each other at her kitchen table. "You read the articles," Alex begins, running a hand through his hair. "I know how bad it looks, but none of it is true. This whole thing was orchestrated by one of my competitors, a smear campaign designed to discredit me." "And why should I believe you?" Emma asks, her tone sharp. "You've lied before, Alex. You invaded my privacy, manipulated your way into my life. How do I know this isn't just another lie?" Alex flinches at her words, knowing she's right. He's made mistakes, plenty of them, and now he's paying the price. "You're right," he admits quietly. "I haven't been perfect. I acted impulsively when I first met you, and I crossed lines I shouldn't have. But what I feel for you, that's real, Emma. Everything else, the charity work, the school visits, it wasn't about publicity. It was about you, about proving to myself and to you that I'm capable of more than just chasing wealth and status." Emma studies him carefully, searching for any hint of deception. His vulnerability is undeniable, but so is her pain. "If that's true," she says slowly, "then prove it. Not with words, but with actions. Show me who you really are." Alex nods, determination hardening his features. "I will, whatever it takes." Over the next few weeks, Alex throws himself into proving his sincerity. He pulls back from the spotlight, canceling high-profile events and declining interviews. Instead, he focuses on supporting Emma's dream of opening an art gallery, a project she's long put on hold due to financial constraints. He starts by organizing a fundraising event at one of his properties, inviting influential figures from the art world to contribute. But rather than centering himself, he ensures the focus remains on Emma and her students. On the night of the event, the space is transformed into a vibrant showcase of creativity, with artwork from Emma's students displayed alongside pieces donated by renowned artists. As guests mingle and admire the exhibits, Alex watches from the sidelines, his eyes fixed on Emma. She moves through the crowd, speaking passionately about the importance of arts education and the impact it has on young minds. Watching her, Alex feels a surge of pride, not because of what he's done, but because of who she is. After the event, which raises enough funds to secure the gallery space, Emma approaches Alex, her expression unreadable. "I didn't think you'd actually do it," she admits, her voice tinged with awe. "I told you I would," Alex replies softly. "Anything for you." For the first time in weeks, Emma allows herself to smile, a genuine, heartfelt smile that lights up her entire face. "Thank you," she says simply. But just as things seem to be falling into place, another obstacle emerges. A major investor in Alex's company threatens to pull funding unless he distances himself from Emma, citing concerns about his reputation. Faced with the potential collapse of his business empire, Alex is forced to make a choice: protect his legacy or fight for the woman he loves. If you're invested in seeing how Alex navigates this impossible decision, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us bring stories like this to life, and trust me, the resolution is worth sticking around for. The weight of Alex's decision presses down on him like a storm cloud. For days he wrestles with the ultimatum from his investor: sever ties with Emma, or risk losing everything he's built. It's not just about money, it's about identity. His empire has been the foundation of his existence for as long as he can remember. To let it crumble feels like erasing a part of himself. But then he thinks of Emma, her quiet strength, her unwavering belief in doing what's right, even when it's hard. She represents something he's never had: purpose beyond profit. Slowly, painfully, Alex begins to realize that no amount of wealth or success could ever fill the void inside him. Only love and the courage to choose it can do that. One evening, Alex calls an emergency meeting with his board of directors. The room is tense as he steps up to address them, his voice steady despite the turmoil swirling within him. "I've spent my entire life building this company," he begins, looking each member in the eye. "And I won't deny that it's been my greatest achievement. But today, I'm here to tell you that there are things more important than profit, things like integrity, authenticity, and love." A murmur ripples through the room, but Alex presses on. "If standing by Emma means losing some of you as investors, so be it. I won't compromise who I am or who she is for anyone." His words hang in the air, heavy with finality. Some board members exchange skeptical glances, while others nod in quiet respect. One by one, they leave the room, leaving Alex alone with his thoughts. He knows the road ahead won't be easy, but for the first time in years, he feels free. Meanwhile, Emma remains unaware of Alex's sacrifice. She's busy preparing for the opening of her art gallery, pouring every ounce of energy into making it a success. The space is beautiful, a testament to her vision and the support of her students, but there's still a lingering sadness, her heart. Despite Alex's recent efforts, she can't shake the fear that their worlds are simply too different to bridge. On the day of the gallery's grand opening, Emma stands nervously at the entrance, greeting guests as they arrive. The room buzzes with excitement, filled with people eager to celebrate her achievement. Yet amidst the crowd, one face is conspicuously absent: Alex's. Just as doubt begins to creep in, the doors swing open once more. Alex walks in, his suit slightly rumpled, but his eyes shining with determination. He carries a large painting wrapped in brown paper, its edges peeking out tantalizingly. "Emma," he says, approaching her, "I need to show you something." Curious, Emma follows him to a quiet corner of the gallery. With careful hands, Alex unwraps the painting to reveal a stunning portrait of her, not posed or polished, but raw and real. It captures her essence perfectly: the kindness in her smile, the fire in her gaze, the quiet resilience that defines her. "I commissioned this from a local artist," Alex explains, his voice soft. "It reminded me of why I fell in love with you in the first place. You're extraordinary, Emma, and I want you to know that I'm willing to fight for us, for you, no matter what it takes." Tears well up in Emma's eyes as she absorbs his words. For so long she's guarded her heart, afraid of being hurt again. But looking at Alex now, the man who gave up everything to prove his love, she realizes that some risks are worth taking. "Alex," she whispers, her voice trembling, "are you sure about this? About us?" "I've never been sure of anything in my life," he replies, taking her hands in his. "You make me want to be better, to be someone worthy of your love." In that moment, Emma lets go of her doubts. She leans into him, their foreheads touching as the world around them fades away. The gallery opening becomes a celebration, not just of art, but of new beginnings. Guests marvel at the exhibits, but the real masterpiece is the bond between Alex and Emma, a testament to the transformative power of love and vulnerability. As the night winds down, Alex finds himself sitting on the floor of the gallery alongside Emma's students, teaching them how to mix colors and sketch shapes. Watching him interact with the children, Emma feels a swell of gratitude. This isn't the Alex she met on the yacht. This is a man who has grown, who has chosen connection over isolation, purpose over prestige. Later, as they stand together under the soft glow of string lights, Emma turns to Alex with a smile. "You know," she says, "when I first saw you, I thought you were just another billionaire playboy chasing thrills. I had no idea you'd end up changing my life." "And you changed mine," Alex replies, pulling her close. "You showed me what it means to truly live." The scene fades to black, leaving viewers with a poignant reminder. Happiness isn't found in wealth or status, but in the connections we forge and the love we share. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel. Stories like these take time and effort to create, and your support means the world to us. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and stay tuned for more tales that explore the depths of the human experience.